my name is Bob Copenhaver. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to participate in your search for a new CTO. I'd like to address the two questions that you've posed. The first question, please advise us if you have experience with this size and type of technology team. Provide examples of the kind of challenges that you expect to face when you join the GiftCards.com team and how you would address these over the next 12 months. Yes, I've actually worked for two companies that have experienced very rapid growth. The first one was a software company called Pecuri. When I joined the company, we had 160 employees, and the group that I managed had 5 people in it. We grew that to more than 20 people within the first 12 months. The second company was Lara. Lara provided custom-developed applications and components. When I started, I had a team of 3, and we grew that to more than 35 people within 14 months and more than 50-plus people in 24 months. Very rapid, crazy growth is what that was. All right. So let me talk about some of the challenges that I've seen when you're growing a development group very rapidly and very quickly. I think you can break it down into 2 main categories. There's the technical and then there's the people challenges. So as a result, I don't think it's necessarily just adding people. I think it has to do with taking people and moving them from being able to do a little bit of everything to giving them a more focused set of responsibilities. I think it also results with some of these challenges result from application complexity. As you add more customers and transactions and you build your application up and you're adding more feature functions, you have more moving parts, the application becomes more complex, and that adds to some of the challenges. So the technical challenges. So let me hit some of the key technical challenges. One is maintaining quality. As you have more people, more code, you've got more opportunity for errors. Setting and maintaining standard processes, putting those processes in place and being willing to change those over time and staying on top of them. Tribal knowledge. You typically start with a couple people that really understand the application or the whole application very well, and you've added a bunch of people to the mix, and you need to be able to take their knowledge, document that, and disseminate it among the group. Release management. Release management is always difficult, whether you're growing the group or not. It's difficult to make sure that you've always got the right components and you're releasing them, that they've been tested properly, that everything is put in place to do so, and that you've got a good backup plan. Scaling hardware. As an application is growing, as a group is growing, you typically need to scale your hardware. You have performance issues that you're trying to compensate for, and you've also got, you're trying to make a highly available system. So you're usually scaling hardware, which adds complexity and is a challenge in and of itself. And then I'd say the key one to me is maintaining a crisp and a solid architecture. It's one thing to start off with an architecture or to take the time and make that investment in the architecture, but it's another to make sure that as the application is growing and as you're adding people, that you're constantly coming back and you're maintaining that architecture and you're willing to come back and look at pieces that maybe need to be reworked. All right, so those are some of the challenges I see from a technical perspective. Some of the people challenges. People challenges have to do more with the culture. You're bringing all these people in, and you've got to be able to maintain culture and a shared value set. You've got to be able to communicate vision. There's another challenge I see that I call it group siloing, where you take a specific team of people that are more focused on a specific set of responsibilities. That team has a tendency to focus inward. They have a difficult time then looking outward at the whole group and how they contribute to the whole group and how they fit. Another thing obviously then is just communication associated with that. Communication is always difficult, and it's very difficult as you're rapidly growing. Another thing is setting expectations and expectations management. So those are some of the challenges that I see in growing a group very, very rapidly. But I think what you do to mitigate some of those is really predicated on a foundation of what I call trust. You've got to build trust. You have to have this foundation of trust that's built off of treating people right, showing them respect, making sure that people feel valuable and that they understand the value that they contribute to the company and to the whole and to the group. Then on that foundation, I would say that you really have got to make sure that you've got a lot of listening, active listening, and a lot of communicating happening to compensate for all the people coming in. But from a tactical perspective, I say lightweight processes. I'm a big fan of making sure that you don't have heavyweight processes. You want to put in a process that does just what you need it to do and no more. And you want to be willing to tweak it. It's better to be a minimalist and then add to as you need to. So tied to that is what I call postmortems. I think another way to mitigate risk is to implement postmortems. They give a lot of people angst, but they're a great concept, and it's simple. You need to be willing to go back and look at what you've done and look to see how it can be improved. And the process is not to sit there and cast blame on someone or a group of people, but it's more to say, this is how we did it. How do we make it better? Does anybody else have an idea on how to make this better? I'm a big fan of the group. I don't think that you can have superstars that come up with all the right answers. I think that groupthink and processing things as a group, you come up with a lot better solution set. Okay, so let me jump to question 2. The second question. Some companies focus on marketing to drive growth. Some focus on products. Some focus on technology. What you're thinking about the most important thing a company should focus on in order to be a success, product, marketing, or technology? Interesting question, but it's simple. You've got to focus on all three, and I'm not trying to be trite. I truly do believe that if you want to be successful, you've got to have a focus on all three. It would be very easy for me, being a technology product guy and having that as my focus, to say that that's more important than what marketing is. But I've learned from my startup experience and experience with Sybase is that, you can have the best technology or the best product, but if you don't have marketing, people don't know who you are, where you are, and it's hard to keep their focus. On the flip side of that, if you've got the best marketing, but you don't have a good product, a solid product, and you don't have good technology supporting that product, you may have a lot of people to start with, but you'll have a difficult time in maintaining that customer base. So you really have to focus on all three. You've got to be good at all three, and that's what makes doing business very difficult. I think also in there, it's important to have a clear vision. You need to know who you are and what you do. And then beyond that, it comes down to the people. That's the important thing. I'd really like to thank you for allowing me to answer these 2 questions. I look forward to talking to you in the future. Again, thank you.